I wanted to ask again about social anxiety, because one of the things that helped me most, I think I heard this secondhand. I think I heard it from Jordan Peterson, and I don't know where he heard it from someone, that in a setting, if you're ever feeling anxious in a social setting, just focus all of your attention and energy on the other person that you're having a conversation with. Yep. Like over the top focus, right? Like their features, their micro expressions, their clothes. Yeah. It's like really commit all of your attentional faculties to them.
Yeah.
And then that basically leaves you no bandwidth or horsepower left to have that voice. It's like, concerned, I guess. And that actually seemed to be pretty useful. Like when I first heard that and really started, I was already I guess I was late 20s, early 30s. So I was already kind of coming out of maybe just through repetitions of being in social settings, I was feeling less anxious, but that was also helpful. Is that accurate? And if so, why?
Yeah. So it's very accurate. And then, Jordan Peterson took it from this guy who took it from that guy.
Sure.
This dates back to Plato.
We're all nodes on the network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it dates back to Plato's Republic, actually.
Okay.
So it's like pre-Christianity. And the way that a lot of people are wording this nowadays, they'll use the word mindfulness, which has lost its meaning. It's so It's so everywhere, pervasive, that it's lost its meaning. But the way that I describe this every time is, if you're in a conversation, you have to live in front of your eyes. You have to have conversations in front of your eyes. Your awareness, it has to be out here. It can't be back here. So forcing yourself to pay attention to the other person and all of their story, their life, their eyebrow hair, whatever you're looking at, forces your awareness out in front of your eyes as much as possible, where you're not considering and weighing how this is going to go. Are they judging me? Because a lot of that, the moment we worry about social judgment, we engage in what's called perception management. Am I sitting up the right way? Am I looking the right way?
Right.
Do I look stupid? Should I say this sentence? I'm going to go through it in my head before I say it, make sure it doesn't sound stupid. So it's perception management that we get into, which is way back here behind our eyes. So that's the way that I personally describe it, is like just living in front of your eyes when you're with other people.
That's a great way to put it. And then even as you're describing that, that's exactly what it feels like almost. Like literally getting out of your head and having your attentional energies on someone else. But then also back in my mind, I'm like, as we're doing this podcast, you're giving me this answer, but I'm also trying to queue up the next thing, right? So I want to be fully focused on you,
right?
But at the same time, I want to know what I'm going to say to you next. So there's always this kind of dynamic tension.
Yeah.
And it can definitely go too far. One of the most frustrating things I've had with people in podcast world is those people that you talk to off camera, they'll talk like this. They're just like, hey, how you doing? And then they get on camera and it's la 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 la. And I'm just like, that is so weird. Why do you do that?
Yeah.
Why do people judge that? What is we just prefer that people be the same in all settings, or what's going on with that?
We do. So this is another rabbit hole. Let's dig into it. So, you've probably had this experience before. You don't have to admit it, but most people have.
I'll do my best.
So you put on your best suit, maybe you're in your early 20s, mid 20s or whatever, super nice clothes, hair's done up, everything looks good. And you've got a 9-foot pile of laundry in your bedroom, bathroom counters just covered in shit, dishes piled up, unpaid bills on the kitchen counter. And let's say you read one of those confidence articles that we talked about. No, so you're gonna knock it out of the park. If you do all that stuff well, you've got all that stuff back at home that's not really lining up. If you do all of that well, it'll look good from the outside, but the person that's speaking with you will have a gut feeling. They're not a behavior profiler, not a body language expert, but they're going to get this feeling something was off. I don't know what it was.
Right.
Something just gave me this weird feeling. And in reality, we are manufacturing gut feelings in other people all day long. And we get really good when we learn how to do it on purpose. So that's discongruent behavior or incongruent behavior. So when my behavior is congruent, that makes other people have that gut feeling of everything is lining up.
Right. There's integration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have that, like, am I the same person off camera as I am on camera? Am I willing to invite my clients to my house? Am I willing to go on a podcast and then somebody meets me for dinner later tonight? Am I the same dude in both situations? And when we see congruence, it automatically makes us flip a little switch in our head that says trustable or trustworthy. And that is huge in business.
Of course.
Or parenting or leadership.
Yeah. Any human relation, basically. Yeah. Yeah. Because people want to know that, well, you're not duplicitous, right? Like you're not going to say and do one thing now and then say and do another thing another time. That's not congruent, as you said.
Right.
What is it? Okay. But I agree and appreciate that. But at the same time, even in myself, I don't think any of us are perfect at it.
Nope.
And the interesting thing with a podcast is like, there's not even any additional people in the room, but it's like once the camera's on and once you're recording, there's like always at least a slight change.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Maybe some people are really good at this and they're just, maybe Joe Rogan's been doing it for so long. He's just the same guy.
No, Joe, there's a slight change in Joe.
Okay. So what is that the same dynamic you're describing earlier? It's like the anticipation of social judgment, even if it's mediated through technology?
I think so. That like camera, I work with a guy on our YouTube channel. His name's Scott Rouse, and he calls this extra face. So like when you're in Hollywood shooting a movie or something and there's extras in the background and like they don't even have any lines, but they're just kind of hanging out like this. And then they say action and the extras are like,
oh yeah.
Like there's all of that tension comes out.
Yeah.
It's such a perfect description of it. But it's like the knowledge, this is the way it was explained to me. The knowledge that something will become permanent and eternal about your behavior changes your behavior.
That's so funny. But
I would imagine the Romans did that. Like they're chilling out, they're hanging out there, and then the scribe comes in to write down all the shit they're talking about.
It's funny you brought up the Romans because I immediately went to the beginning of the movie Gladiator where he says, what we do in life echoes in eternity. And so like that is kind of, I mean, that is the reality. Obviously, whatever you do, I mean, that's what happened and that's what was, is now, and will be was, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But when it's recorded, it adds that extra layer of realness to the future. Right. So therein lies the additional anticipation of social judgment.
Yes. Or future social judgment.
Future social judgment.
In 20 years down the road.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, click here to find more just like it, and here to find our most recent episode. Also, make sure to like this video to help shine light on the corruption of money, and be sure to subscribe to this channel to stay connected.